MLB postseason grabs our fantasy headlines on this Friday. We'll have your fantasy picks for tonight's Game 6 of the American League Championship Series and much, much more. Welcome, everybody, to our big show. We have a lot of fun scheduled for you today as we have our Superdraft daily picks and a whole lot more. I'm Jim Ginocchio, former sportscaster with Turner Broadcasting and NBC in Atlanta. And joining me from Los Angeles is Hollywood producer and one of the leading fantasy sports experts for the last 20 years, Mr. Ross the Boss.
Hey everybody, I'm Ross the Boss, and I want to talk Superdraft Pro with you, Cowboy. We have a great special guest, and today is a very special day for this guy. Today is his birthday. He's turning 30 today. He looks unbelievable. I'm excited to have him on. Dr. Dan Ratner, welcome to the party, pal.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for sharing some of my birthday with me. I appreciate it.
Good to have you on, Dan. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking a little bit of baseball today. And so let's get on it, guys. So first of all, we'll have the ALCS picks for you in just a minute. But meantime, last night, we just got to talk real quick about last night. I just can't believe Chris Taylor became the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit 3 home runs in an elimination game. And A.J. Pollock hit 2. And what's up? The 2 of those guys combined for 10
As
RBI.
I said, beginning of the series, I said, who's the MVP for the Dodgers this year? It's not Cody. It's not one of the Turners. It's Chris Taylor. He's been doing this all year. When the Dodgers need a hit, he gets the hit. And I've been saying this throughout the series, and he's money. He'll sign. He's a free agent at the end of the year, too. He's going to sign an unbelievable deal. But Chris Taylor, to me, he's the heart of the Dodgers, and he's the reason the Dodgers are still in this series.
Dan, what do you think? I mean, Taylor stepped to the plate in the 8th inning last night going for his 4th home run.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can get that chance at the 4th, it's amazing. I want to see somebody go for the 5th, which I think has only happened a couple times in Major League history. I mean, I had Chris Taylor on my fantasy team, so I know what this guy can do.
Yeah.
But he's also the kind of player with that grit that shows up in the playoffs. You know these guys. I don't know. I'm in a way, I'm not surprised. And in a way, of course, you're always surprised.
And Dan, I got to congratulate you on your Cleveland Browns. You guys were,
that was fun.
You guys were all in the hospital, all hurt. Some reason your second string quarterback came in, your third string running back came in, and you guys looked unbelievable. Congratulations on your Browns.
Thank you, sir. And you know why there was that difference?
Why?
It's really there's 2 reasons that there were that difference. One, Jedrick Wills, one of our offensive tackles, was back in. We only had 3/5 of our line against Arizona. The other reason it happened is we were not playing the Arizona Cardinals. They are nasty.
They are 6-0. They are the pride of the NFC right now, even though I think there's a couple teams that may be better. But right now, I got to say Arizona is the best team.
Hey, I got to tell you, Dearness Johnson pulled it through last night. I mean, what a great game. I think what he saw Leroy Kelly and Jim Brown on the sideline and got nervous and said, I better play a good game.
He did, and I told our fans to take him as the champion last night, and I actually was a winner last night because I did that.
I did too.
And I didn't take him as my champion. I totally should have, but I was like, I don't know, maybe Dimitri Felton. But Ross, I was saying Dearness Johnson's the guy, but I should have taken him as the champion.
In our other show we do on MFSN, this other analyst like Felton. And we can't wait to give him a bad time on Monday. He
didn't even play a role. Felton didn't ever even play a role in the game, for crying out loud. That was crazy stuff. Hey, let's talk National League Championship Series, guys. So it goes back to Atlanta for Game 6, and we have both pitchers from Game 2 that are getting the start. Ian Anderson, Max Scherzer. So, guys, who are we picking in Game 6 in Atlanta?
So Game 6 is it's going to be on Saturday, correct?
Right, Saturday in Atlanta. Yeah.
So I'm still gonna take Max Scherzer. I just think he's the best pitcher in the National League when he wants to. When he's on, he's unbelievable. It's a must game for the Dodgers, and I see them going into Atlanta winning it. That game's going to go to Game 7. So my prediction is right there.
I totally agree. How do you pick against Max Scherzer? But I do have to say this. I love working with Ross because he asks questions, and I sometimes think, what's going on in his mind? He said, that's on Saturday, right? I was like, is he going to pick it differently if it's a different day? What's happening here?
Friday,
I'm just reminding the fans that the game's not today. That's
okay.
All. I mean, people say, where's the Dodger game? It's not on today. There's only one game. It's Boston and Houston today. We'll talk about that soon.
Yes, in fact, how about we do it now? It's the American League Championship Series continues tonight.
But we're all rooting for Game 7 in that Atlanta Dodgers series. I love Game 7s of World Series of pennants and World Series, and I'm excited to make that happen.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, all right, Game 6 tonight in Houston, and as you saw on our screenshot, we said Houston, we have no problem, right? And that was what Altuve, right, Ross?
Yeah. So Houston, first of all, they're starting Luis Garcia. Do you know what his ERA is in the playoffs?
Oh, 20,
God. Like 24 is his ERA.
Ouch.
So I can't play a guy with an ERA of 24.
No.
I mean, I really can't. So I took him off all my cards. He's off. I'm not taking Garcia. I think he's going to get destroyed. I think
now
Boston's
wait, Ross,
going to win the game tonight.
Can we have you say that again, but in riled up Ross the Boss form?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not bringing it.
But the one mistake that headquarters made on the multiplier, Dan, you know what the multiplier is, right?
Yeah, I do.
So the multiplier, if you do the champion multiplier on Altuve, he's going to be 3.05. So he's my champion today. Altuve 3.05. That's a gift. That's unbelievable. You got to take Altuve as your champion. And then I'm also going to take, this guy's been on fire. I'm going to take Brantley. He bats second in that Houston lineup. His multiplier is over 2. It's like 2.05. Another huge mistake.
That's a huge mistake.
I love Brantley. He's been on fire. I have no idea. Then other players I like, I think on the Boston side, who I think is going to win the game, I think Kyle Schwarber is going to be a huge game. Dan, you and I talk about Schwarber throughout the year on our fantasy shows, and we know how dangerous the guy is. And tell everybody when this guy's on, tell how on this guy is, Dan.
Well, I think it felt like he had like 15 homers in like 17 games. I'm not even joking. It was completely insane.
Dan and I would talk about Kai Schwarber. He was still under 60% owned, so we had to talk about him on our fantasy show, and people still wouldn't pick him up. Every week we'd say, okay, this week he had 8 home runs, 20 RBIs, and he's still under 60%. The guy's on fire, and for some reason, people weren't picking him up. I don't know. But I think Kyle Schwarber's back on fire again. You got to pick him up. I love him. I also love. I'm going to take. I'm going to take the starter for the Red Sox. Nathan Eovaldi has been okay, but you got to take one pitcher, and he's the pitcher I'm going to take. Again, his ERA during the playoffs is over 5. I know it's not that great, but it's better than Garcia, who's like over 20. So I like him. JD Martinez, I like for the Red Sox. I feel he's been hitting the ball really, really hard. You can't. And then somebody that Dan Ratner loves is Kiki Hernandez. I know you love this guy, Dan. We talked about him on our show. And Kiki's multiplier, it's like over 2. That's another. We all love Kiki Hernandez, an ex-Dodger. He knows how to play in the playoffs. Over 2 multiplier. You got to throw him in the bag too. And somebody else that we talk about every game is Kyle Tucker. His multiplier is 1.85. Another guy you got to throw in the mix. So all these people I'm mentioning, just kind of take a bag, mix them up, and hopefully you have more than one ticket and you can play more than one like Ross the Boss does.
So Dan, let's play the devil's advocate here, right? With Ross, right?
Okay,
so every game of this series has been high scoring, and the team is just. So how do you pick a pitcher when you have Game 6 and all these big hitters? Why is Eovaldi even in the dark starting line?
With somebody?
Come on.
Listen,
it's either Garcia, ERA over 20. You don't understand. We know how bad of a pitcher he's going to be.
Who says you got to pick a pitcher?
And Houston's. Let me just do my impression of the Houston manager, Dusty Baker. So he's looking at his scorecard. He's looking at all the pitchers that are available. You know what? I'm going to pick Garcia. He's due for a good game.
I know what happened.
Over 20. Why is he starting Garcia?
I think he moved the decimal. He was like a 2.40 ERA. I'm starting this guy. This is great.
I don't think so. I don't know why. What does they have to have a better pitcher that's available than Garcia? I'd rather start the guy who sells peanuts in the stands than Garcia. Boston's going to be hitting the ball a lot, and I just thought, okay, maybe I have to start one pitcher. You don't have to start him. I mentioned enough players, but you don't have to start a pitcher. But I was just thinking it's a must game for Boston. If they lose, they're done. Right. So Nathan's going to he's going to have to pitch well today, because if not, the Red Sox will be vacationing in beautiful Jamaica in a few days if they don't win today.
Well,
hey, Doc, it's your birthday, brother. What do you think about it? What's going to happen?
Well, listen, I'm actually looking at the lineup that I set in my entry into Superdraft, and I picked Eovaldi as my champion. And I don't know. I have a hunch.
Wow.
He's got a good multiplier. And actually, if we look at his like fantasy points per game, they're pretty good. And if you multiply that, he gets way higher than the other people. Now, listen, I'm still learning the ropes on this Superdraft thing. So you guys tell me if I have this wrong. But I picked him as the champion.
Okay.
You know, I figured to win this, you sometimes have to go out on a limb. You have to go with a hunch.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've got Altuve entered. I've got JD Martinez.
Okay.
I got Xander Bogaerts. I got Carlos Correa. These are guys who I think are going to put up good numbers, and their multipliers to me are pretty good, especially Altuve. I don't understand this.
I don't either. It's a huge mistake by National, but keep going.
It's crazy. But Eovaldi just feels to me like he's one of those guys, and I could be totally wrong about this. We know that. I'm either going to be wrong or right. We'll see.
Yeah.
But Eovaldi seems to be the kind of guy who just has the mental makeup that I have a hunch. I've watched a lot of baseball. I watched so much baseball that you can, like, you know how you can sense those moments? You're like, Shane Spencer is going to hit a home run here. Like, remember him on the Yankees? It was like, he has no business doing that. And of course, he's the guy who would do it. Eovaldi could enter into Astros lore as like, remember that guy who took away the ALCS from us? It could happen.
That could be
I'm not, I have him as a champion in one of my other tickets. I have the elite package, so I can play 4. And I feel when I spread myself out a little bit with different ideas and different thought processes on who's going to do well, I usually have at least one ticket that's a winner, you know, and that's why I do the elite package, is because I get to play over 120 games a month.
Yeah,
and out of the 120 games, I mean, every day, I mean, 2 days ago, I won. Yesterday, I won. I mean, every day I'm bringing money in, and it's like I already paid for the month times 2. So it's definitely worth doing this elite package that I'm involved in, which I have fun with every week.
Yeah, 120 contests
over,
at least, as you said, yeah, and for 30 days for free, because this is what. And so if you win $1 a game, you've already taken care of the package. My goodness.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But hey, listen, as we wrap up, I mean, this has been a great show. I love the fact that we got Game 6 tonight, Game 6 tomorrow. This is going to be quite a weekend. We got football coming up this weekend. Dr. Dan, I'm going to give you some closing thoughts here. What you give us the closing thoughts as we wrap this thing up?
All right. Well, first, I'm going to give you a closing thought on baseball.
Yeah.
This could be a little bit of a downer in a way, but I wish that baseball would get back to the fundamentals. I don't want this home run stuff all the time. Come on, show me the bunt, do the wheel. Like I want to see like NL manager baseball with double switches and all that stuff. That's the joy of baseball. So a plea out to baseball to go back to the basics. Let's do the stuff. You even have Pete Rose in the background. He's not trying to hit a home run every time. He's the hit leader of all time. But even so, this is a fantastic time of year. We love October baseball. I hope it doesn't get too cold where they, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that affects the ball and everything. Yep, absolutely.
But it's a special time of year, and I think it's the time where you really, as a big baseball fan, you want to tune in and see these moments because everything that happens is going to become lore. Whatever happens that's important is going to be in the lore forever. Don't miss it.
Yep, totally agree. Ross, any final thoughts?
Game 7, both leagues. Let's cross our fingers and hope it happens. Exciting times.
That'd be some great stuff. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today on our special broadcast with Dr. Dan Ratner and Ross the Boss in Los Angeles. I'm Jim Ginocchio in Atlanta. Have yourselves a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Thanks, guys.